What is up, my Lorcana Goons, and welcome back to the Lorcana Goons channel. You guys are watching the Friday Weekly Market Watch, where Zach and I go over Lorcana news, meta trends, and card prices. How are you guys doing today? If you guys have been keeping up with all this Lorcana news, it's been a very important week for the Lorcana TCG. Zach Stone, you want to start off this video and let the people know what they've missed in case they have not been keeping up with social media?
What is up, my Lorcana Goons? Yes, this is an exciting week. We have Gen Con going on, and you guys know what that means. There are a lot of reveals and a lot of news that we get to hear about. This one is the talk of the town. We do know about Sonic Warrior's return to the Fabled format. She will be graduating and is in that set as a rare. And we do know that this card was released in Ursula's Return as a super rare. And reminder, enchanted versions, not to foreshadow anything, but yes, this is a card that we will see come back. And honestly, I like it. I like this card a lot. I think this card is really good. I do know that we're also having another Ariel reprinted. It's the 4-cost Amber Singer 7. So you might be able to get some combos going on. You might see some other Ariels come into play. Kevin, how did you feel when you found out the rarities weren't going to be the same?
Dude, I literally called you. Thank you for asking me. That's the first thing I did is I called you, Zach Stone, and I was like, you're not going to believe this. Lorcana Duo, shout out Lorcana Duo over here. They actually got to reveal the card at Gen Con. I called Zach and I was like, you're not going to believe this, bro. Ariel Sonic Warriors returning, but in a rare. And the implication there obviously just means that this could happen to any card. So last week, if you're watching the Market Watch video, Zach and I and everybody else in the Lorcana space were pretty confident that, we were only getting 6 legendary cards returning, because that's kind of what Team Lorcana said, right? In terms of reprints, we're getting 6 reprints of legendaries. But I wonder if that means now that some of the legendaries from previous sets are going to return in different rarities. That's exactly what I'm thinking now. So we never know. We might get the return of Big Sisu in a cheaper rarity, Diablo, Beast Tragic Hero. Many of these hard-hitting legendary staples that have been, pretty expensive or hard to pull for a lot of Lorcana players, they might come back in rarities that are much easier to pull. And one of the big things that I thought too was this is going to be good for Fabled as a set, right? Because we all go to locals. We all know the players that are definitely down to spend money on a playset of Maui Sharks, but there are some players who they're only going to play the Maui Shark if they pull it, right? Or they're not even going to try and pay for that card. And what I really like now about Fabled is that you're going to give opportunities to people to play those cards, to pull those cards, and add them to their deck at a possibly much easier cost, lighter ratios. And there's still going to be a difference, Zach. If they reprint legendaries as like super rares or rares or something, the original legendaries are textured. That's really cool. And there is going to be a difference. I'm super excited for this, man. I think Fabled's going to be a killer set, especially for someone who wants to build all the meta decks. Also, Ariel Sonic Warrior really only popped off this past format. I feel like sets 1 through 7, nobody was playing this card, and then set 8 and 9, this card kind of started trending a little bit, and I was kind of sad that it was going to leave us. So I'm happy that we're seeing the return of Ariel Sonic Warrior. Huge shout out to Lorcana Duo for getting to reveal this card at Gen Con. Gen Con is actually the 2-year anniversary of Lorcana, and it's very fitting that we're getting all these like reprints from the first chapter. They've already announced the Enchanted Winnie the Pooh, the Power line. We saw it yesterday. We dropped a video yesterday actually going over some of the announcements, but there were some things that we hadn't seen yet because of like timing and whatnot. This Cruella de Vil card, a new card, it's a Sapphire card coming out in set 9, 3 costs, uninkable. During your turn, whenever a character with 2 costs or less is banished, you can put the top card of your deck into the inkwell face down. Has another ability that I can't really see. During your turn, blank characters with 2 costs or less get blank, probably evasive on their turn. And another Jasmine here, Zach. How do you feel about these cards?
I do like the direction that they're going. When Powerline was revealed, it was very awesome to see. I'm excited that I'm excited that we just have the card, but the effect is broken. Like, I think that effect is insanely good. I can't wait to find out what else is going to be revealed in Fabled and really know like the card pool and what can sing. And to be honest, even with just the available card pool now, like, Ruby Sapphire with Down in New Orleans and Powerline sounds insane. But yeah, this is awesome. And like the Jasmine, I think you just like give characters strength or challenger or something this turn. I think I've read the card somewhere else. I think you give a character challenger 3 that turn if you choose to discard a card. So it's not that bad, but they are going in that direction with like the ally deck. The Cruella de Vil, I think that this card's insane. The stats aren't that strong. However, if we do see cards like Brawl not being graduated, it would be awesome. But just a little tidbit on the rarities. That means this is going to change like what cards are returning, because we saw the breakdown, right?
Yeah.
171 returning cards, and like the amount of cards coming back in those rarities are completely different. And we do know that this Aerial Adventurous Collector, she's from the set 3. She's from Into the Inkland. So that is also returning and being graduated, as well as having an enchanted print. I love it. I love seeing Flounder in there, and it's perfect. She's finding her who's it's and does it's, and
Dingle
the
hoppers.
Dumbo is awesome.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah,
that's actually a dingle hopper in her hand. I do want to give
correct. Correct. And there's the shark looming in the background too. I like the attention to detail, but the Dumbo, we all love Dumbo. We're excited, and the Dumbo is broken.
This
I
card
just
is
wanna tell you
good.
right now.
This card is
That
really
Dumbo
good.
is broken.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm a little like, I like this card a lot. All right, as an Amethyst enjoyer, like, I'm super excited for this card. I am a little sad though, because I thought Pinocchio Strings Attached was gonna pop off a little bit more in this coming format, but you just play Dumbos. Like, you just play Dumbo instead of Pinocchio Strings Attached, or maybe you just play all of them. Maybe you play like 4 Dumbo, 4 Pinocchio, 4 Genie. You're just on turn 4. You're always gonna have a card that can possibly draw you some cards. I love that. I love these cards, dude. This is gonna be a killer set, man. I'm telling you. There's a lot going on here. It is only 33 some new cards, but now I'm pretty hyped with these new rarity reprints. I'm kind of excited to see what else we get. We have Max Goof, a new Mulan card coming out. Alongside that, we saw an announcement for Toy Story. Did not bring this up on the video, and they brought this up on stream, so I wanted to talk about it real quick. Obviously, super excited for this, right? Can't wait to see what kind of songs they give us too. You got a friend in me. That's gonna be cool. Maybe they'll give us actions like "Got a Snake in My Boot" or to Infinity and Beyond. That's gonna be awesome. But yeah, Zach, how are you feeling? Any specific characters you're looking out for in Toy Story? I'm hoping, just real quick, I want to take like 30 seconds to say I'm really hoping they print the whole gang. Like, I hope we get Slink. I hope we get Ham. I hope we get like all the toys that are in Andy's room. That'd be really cool.
Mr. Potato Head.
Yes.
I am just wanting Mr. Potato Head more than my heart's desire. I wouldn't mind Sid. That would be funny. And I would like a location, Andy's room.
Oh yeah,
that would be really cool.
That would be cool. That would be cool. What if they gave us like an Exodia style Mr. Potato Head that said, like, if you have all the pieces of the potato head in your hand, you just win the game, where you go to 20 lore immediately.
Imagine it says like imagine it says you can play no more than one copy of this card in the text and stuff. And
that would be
like,
so funny. That would be so funny if they gave us Exodia style Mr. Potato Head. You just have the spud, the eyes, and then the arms and the legs, bro. Oh, that'd be hilarious. I can't wait. Cannot wait. Not gonna come till quarter 2026. What is it? Quarter two of 2026. So, we got something to look forward to in the future of Lorcana, and then we have some new promos announced as Belle, Apprentice Inventor, and excuse the quality imagery here, Belle the Accomplished Mystic is going to be reprinted as a promo, and probably more than likely going to be printed in the set again, as it returns in the Fabled format. So if you already have this card, make sure you hold on to it, because it's not going anywhere. Zach Stone, I know I asked you because I wasn't entirely sure. There's these 2 new promo designs, right, for these cards. I thought it was going to be like exclusive, where you get them in specific spaces. They look different than the regular ones, but you told me something else.
Yeah, they're basically using like a magical place symbol. It almost looks like a little celebratory symbol, because in the Fabled set, that is the point. We are graduating some cards. We're celebrating Lorcana. And this one is going to be an interesting way. So I don't think it's the Apprentice Inventor that you have to go through like the parks itself. But to get that Accomplished Mystic, you have to like complete this quest at a park. And you get the really cool design. And yes, that is a EN9, by the way, on the bottom left.
Yeah,
so it is 100% guaranteed into the Fabled meta. I'm excited. I think this card's good. We do have to remember that they were talking about cards that will be in Fabled, and the cards graduating will be very close or very much representing what the theme of the color class they want it to be. So moving damage makes perfect sense.
And now let's check out some market prices as we observe everything we just took in. I want to look at some prices of cards that are relevant, like the Aerial Sonic Warrior. We just got an announcement yesterday. The card's returning. The card's good right now as it is. And look at these prices and sales jumps, Zach Stone. As of today, we have a bunch of sales that happened yesterday. There's 4 recent ones from 133, 165, and today 4 of them selling at 190. So they just jumped immediately from around one. Yesterday they were like 125, by the way. So from like 125 all the way to 190, and now there's only 3 listings left. $250 is your lowest verified by Nostalgia Daily over here for your Aerial Sonic Warrior. Right now, this is obviously the hype going on. I don't think this is gonna stick around this price range, but this card is good. This card is good, and overall, I think that it is going to be relevant next format. Like if it's good now, I don't think it's going to be any worse next format, to be honest. And I get the feeling that Ariel's going to stick around. They're going to give us some decent shift targets. Maybe they do reprint Ariel Spectacular Senior. How you feeling?
Feeling good, man. I don't have any myself. I wish I did. So it would have been nicer to include this in the collection. But I do think that this card's a very strong card. I am glad it's coming back. I hope we get some good songs that make this card make sense. And I'm curious. Do you happen to have any Aerial Sonic Warrior Enchanteds at your showcase at the Ninja Exchange?
No, I do not. I do not. We did have one a while ago, but the card's pretty popular. Like the card is popular. A lot of people play it in their Amethyst Steel, Sapphire Steel, Amber Steel, and sorry, not Amethyst Steel. No one plays that in Amethyst Steel. Yeah, Amber Steel, Sapphire Steel. This card gets played, and with the times that I have had it, they've gone pretty quickly. And it's Princess, so unfortunately, do not have it available at my showcase at Ninja Exchange in Carlsbad, California. If you ever want to go visit us, I'm there Friday through Sunday. Zach Stone's there on Friday too with us, and we do tournaments there. It is a collectibles expo, and then Zach is at Frankensons on Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday, and that's going to be a little bit more in the City of Industry, Southern California area. I'm more in like San Diego County, but if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us on social medias. And, we can set up some deals, and you guys can pull up to our booth and check out what kind of cards we have in our inventory. But Aerial Sonic Warrior, a card that I definitely want to add to my inventory alongside maybe a Robin Hood Champion of Sherwood Enchanted. We saw this last week, Zach. This card was going up. All the Lorcana Goons community members were talking about how I got rid of my Robin Hood on accident. Like, these prices have not settled. These prices have not settled. They're definitely still selling for more than 150, which is good to see. A recent sale right here at 140. This was just yesterday. Before that, 160, 160, and lowest verified is 220. So I get the feeling you can still probably get away with paying a little bit less than the lowest verified price right now. But a card that is still the very, very hyped. I think Steel's looking pretty good in the future of Lorcana. I want to talk about Wrong Lever. These were selling for a little bit less than $100. The market price is now $98, but recent sales are $96, and now they're selling for more than $100 easily. So if you have Wrong Levers, they're at least 110. Lowest verified, Scott's Emporium, $109 with 99 cents for your Wrong Lever Enchanted. This card's really good, right? It's one of the few removal cards that Emerald has at their disposal, because you can bounce a card to the opponent's hand, but really what you want to do is put it to the bottom of the deck. I think one of the issues with like a Mother Knows Best or cards like the Genie Emerald card is that when you bounce stuff to the opposing hand, it doesn't really solve the problem. Your opponent can just play it next turn, and if you're bouncing stuff like Maleficent Monsters Dragon, Hades, cards with these like killer on play effects, the last thing you want to do is give it to your opponent back into their hand, right?
Yeah, and you do have to kind of consider how you're going to build your deck. It's going to have to focus on like a Diablo Shift strategy as of right now. I do want to mention, though, that it's really nice to pair with like a discard strategy as well, because when you do return those characters to hand, at the very worst, you can discard them. If you got Prince John in play, you're drawing cards. But yes, it does go to show that this Reign of Jafar set champ season is one to close for the books very shortly. We're all getting excited for Fabled. We do have about one more month of set champs, and you are winning these Jafars if you're making top 8. The price right now is around $34, and like we did mention before, they're probably going to go down even more, so I would hold off if you're looking to buy some in for your collection. But overall, it's still going to be a fun time to play some Lorcana and use some of these cards that we won't get to use for quite a while, but who knows, right?
But we're also looking at cards that we know are for sure returning into the new format. Clarabelle Light on Her Hooves Enchanted. This market price was around 75 to 80-ish dollars, but there's a lot of recent sales in the last week or so. One of them selling for 100, 93, $82 a week before, and now the lowest verified is 102, 105 right here. Trading Collectible, Play and Talk GP, and Battle Zone card. Shout out you guys. I think Clarabelle sitting at more than $100 makes more sense to me than like a 75-ish dollar range. I think the card's going to be still really good next format. So far from the reveals we've had, I'm still worried about like how much drop, how we're gonna get from the reprints. We don't know if Rapunzel's coming back as a cheaper rarity. Beast Tragic Hero might leave too. So cards like Clarabelle feel very safe to me. It's a very like safe strategy. Stitch Carefree Surfer, another card that has the word draw in its ability and has been seeing some more recent sales. Market price is now 220. Used to be a little bit closer to 200. All the listings were around 200, but recent sales are showing otherwise. 235, 240. A sale for 204 yesterday, right? But it's kind of an outlier when the lowest verified now is 220 by Great Escape Online, and then a light plate 240, and then 250 by PokePath TCG right here near mint. So from 220 to 250 is I think what you're going to be expected to pay right now, and 13 listings left. There was definitely more listings last week for this card. The non-enchanted rare of Stitch Carefree Surfer, the cold foil, these are going up in price too. These were selling for around $15 a couple of weeks ago. Market price is 18, but the recent sales are showing $20 plus, $25 at least for the cold foil Stitch Carefree Surfers. Lowest verified right now is Triple S Collectibles, and then Battleground Games for $25, right? I do want to take a look at some of the cards we just talked about, Zach, like the Bell Accomplished Mystic. This card actually used to be way more expensive. It used to be around $10, and as of recently, you can still find the cold foils for around $8. So we do know this is, going to be returning in Fabled, so maybe these are some decent pickups right now alongside some of the other cards that were announced that are going to be returning in Fabled, like Cursed Merfolk. These cold foils are slowly going up, but they haven't really moved too much. Market price is around 220. Recent sales are $2 for these cold foils. I think that's pretty good. Right now though, lowest verified is 250, 260. Then it's slowly trickling up to more than $3. So if you can find these for around less than $5, I think that's a good pickup.
Yes, we do know that Sisu is returning as well, so we'll see some more removal on top of the fact that Curse Merfolk is still just a zero strength character, so any character with a strength can get rid of it. We have Dump Truck too. Don't forget about Dump Truck. We talked about Dump Truck last time, and then that's another card that can get rid of Curse Merfolk. So we have plenty of answers, but yes, Sisu is also returning. Yes, a graduated Sisu is what everyone loves to see, and there is a little bit of movement. I think what we saw some pictures previously, and a lot of people were picking up their play sets early on, but they are going to become promos, and I think a lot of people were like, oh, I'd rather get promos, et cetera, et cetera. Well, they didn't do that with this card. They decided to buy these cold foils, and they bought a lot of them. Right now they're around like $18 to $19 with a lot of sales, and this was again more reacted to the news. More and more people started listing them and pricing them, and they started to more settle down at around this price of like $18 to $19. But yes, guys, strength is also graduating, and I'm excited as an Amber Steel enjoyer.
Yeah, no, me too, because for a while I was thinking, like, what are you going to use in Steel to remove a card like Maui Shark, right? It's either Strength or Zeus. So, like, I'm hoping Zeus also makes an appearance, in Fable. I do want to also point out that the non-foils of Strengths are also trickling back up, Zach. They're now $8, at least $8 if you want to get it online, shipping included, but they're trickling up to $9.44 after the first couple listings. So, very close to $9-10 again. Now, especially now that we know, now that we know for sure the card's coming back. I do think, if you bought your Strengths at the low end of like $5 to $8 non-foil, you're going to be chilling, because post-rotation, these are easily going to be still $10 cards, I think. It's just such an important staple in Steel. But that's going to be most of the stuff we want to talk about today on the Market Watch. I do kind of want to acknowledge something that we saw on Facebook, right? This was posted by one of the admins of the Lorcana, like one of the main Lorcana Facebook groups, like TCG Fans, I believe is what it's called. And they were just kind of kindly noting that there's a lot of sales movement for these foil Nero and Huey, right? Yeah, these foil Nero and Huey cards that appear in the Reign of Jafar set. The main issue is that people are listing them on eBay as a misprint slash miscut. And if you play Lorcana and you watch the channel, etc., you know that this is just how the cards come. The foil version of this card and the other crocodile, I forgot his name. You can put them together because it makes a full art, right? Same thing with Huey, Dewey, and Louie. The foil versions of these cards, you put them together and it makes a full art like a little picture frame, right? And people are listing them and successfully selling them as uncut, miscut error cards. And they pointed out that they think it's ridiculous and it's sad. Obviously, like that's the first time I've seen it. Zach brought it up to me, and I'm shocked that not only people are doing this, because I mean, some people probably genuinely don't know. Maybe they do list it that way and they just don't know. But it's not hard to do research. Like, there's no way that there's this many and all these people are genuinely don't know what they're doing. So
yeah, I don't know truly how I feel about this because processing it is a little difficult because I am bewildered, However, people buy anything, and if they like it enough, they don't really care what money they're spending. I think that goes with any hobby and collectible, and so if they're okay, if they're happy, but I don't like the misprint in miscut included in there. I don't like the error
yeah,
word in
it's just a
there. It's just
lie.
false advertising.
Yeah, it's just a lie.
Yeah, and I don't like anything like that. If you were just gonna be like, like extended art and charge that much, by all means,
Yeah,
fair
because
game.
they sell for like $1, but like the price, again, like I said, I agree. The price isn't even what I'm tripping on, because at the end of the day, like, we're paying money for cardboard. Like, like I'm not gonna make the argument there. But really, it's the deception, And I think it's disrespectful. You know what it is too, dude? A lot of people don't know TCG Player. A lot of people who are new to Lorcana, new to card games, they just collect Lorcana or even just collect card games. They know of TCG Player, but they don't trust it. They don't use it. They're so used to eBay being like the dominant, aftermarket sales force. That's all they know, so they stick to eBay. And then they're scrolling through and they see stuff like this, and they pull the trigger. So if you know anybody who shops on eBay, I always recommend TCG Player to people. I always remind them that eBay owns TCG Player and that your sales are safe, your information, all that stuff is safe, and it's a lot more genuine because you literally cannot lie and about something like this on TCG Player. Like, you will get in trouble if you try and say, "Oh, I have a miscut error card," and it's just a full art. So that's all for the episode of this Lorcana Goons Market Watch. Thank you, my Lorcana Goons, for staying tuned and watching all the way through. If you guys are still here, like, comment, and subscribe. If you know anybody who still does their Lorcana shopping on eBay, recommend them to TCG Player. Trust me, it's a lot better. And also join our Discord. We have a lot going on in there. If you guys want to do some trades, we also have a section for that too. But anything you want to say, Zach, before we call it a day today?
Just a couple things, guys. I know we missed our stream yesterday, but Kevin and I are working really hard on an awesome project that we can't wait to let you guys know more about. And our Discord now has a section for a new format that we're looking to try out. We'll go into more details in a later video about that, but if you just want to get interested and get involved, it's similar to just like playing like one copy of every card, and we got some cool ways to go about it. So make sure you guys stay tuned, and see you goons next time.